A great attitude becomes a great mood, which becomes a great day, which becomes a great year, which becomes a great life. Good afternoon, everyone. We would like to begin by welcoming you all to this amazing session on Pace Yourself, Place Yourself 2.0. While it is wise to learn from experience, it is wiser to learn from experiences of others. We all today, as juniors, want to thank all of our seniors who, despite their busy schedule, are here to share their invaluable experience and knowledge on how to get placed in our dream companies. We will also have an Q&A session towards the end. So let's grab this golden opportunity and start with the session. To begin the beginning of the session, I would like to invite Ridham sir with us.
Hey, good to be here. Yeah.
Next, we are having Sahil sir with us.
Hi, happy to be here.
We are having we are having Snehantinu sir with us.
Hey, I hope it will be a great session. Yeah.
Next, we are having Nikhil sir with us.
Hi everyone.
I would request all our speakers to kindly introduce themselves to the audience.
Sure, I'll go first. So, yeah, my name is Ridham, and yeah, just passed out of YMCA, sadly, last time, like on 2022. Currently, I'm working in Microsoft as a software engineer and have been here for the past 2 months. So, yeah, let's just see how the session goes and whether I'll be able to help you guys in any way possible or not. Yeah.
Mm, okay. So let me go next then. So my name is Sahil and I'm also 2022 pass out and currently I'm working with media.net and I had done my internship here only. So that's it for the introduction and I think I hope the session will move ahead and like well. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so I will go next. So I am Sayantanu. So I am also a 2022 grad. Currently, I'm working at D Shop from last 2 months. So uh, I think week after the introduction, we can get started the session directly. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. After the introductions, now we would like to hear about the indispensable journey of our seniors that have gained such a good companies. Sir, please tell us what things we should keep in our mind, what is the placement procedure, and what was your overall experience, your working experience. I would like to request Anthony, sir, to please share his experience.
Uh, my experience as a whole or the placement season, something like that. Can you be more specific, please?
Sir, I would request you to tell your placement experience.
Okay, okay. So actually, I was interning at Innovator. I had my summer internship last year. So my placement experience wasn't that full of hurdle. It was smooth actually because I already had one offer and I was just getting new internships and I was getting new offers. So the main journey starts right. I was into coding right before my college, so I knew some languages and I knew how to write a code actually. So that helped me to get started well. And then I got into Manan. I got introduced to competitive programming, and I enjoyed doing that in my first and second year. And I was really decent in that, not great. Nikhil is a great competitive programmer out there, and Sahil along with him, so they can share their views on it. Then I moved more toward development, like I was doing Android development and web development as well, but I was just keeping a balance with all of those things, like the DSA and CP and the development part all together. So at the end of the day, or this balance really helped me during my interviews. Like my interviews were not really focused on either of one of the things, but it was a mix. Like they asked me questions from development side and competitive programming, DSA side too. So it wasn't. It was really kind of a discussion. Like we were sharing ideas. So I think that balance really helped me to get where I am today. So yeah, that is what I want to share. Maybe Nikhil can share more.
Thank you, sir. Um, I would like to request Rhythm, sir. Sir, please tell us what all things we should keep in our mind and what is the placement procedure. Please tell us about your journey and your experience.
Actually, Rhythm left. He just joined now. So
Yeah, okay.
yeah,
Sahil,
yeah,
if you
please.
can go next, I'm facing some technical difficulties. I'll just join in like 5 minutes.
Okay, it's no issue. So let me start with my experience. Uh, I would like to share experience of two companies like Flipkart and Media.net. So one is on campus, that is Media.net, and second one is Flipkart, and it's an off-campus placement. Okay, so uh, huh. Let's start with the like journey to how I started to code and how I learned it. So uh, when I joined the college, I did not have any like experience in coding and all, so it was a new thing for me. So during the first year, like I started early, like when I joined the college, so I started in first semester itself to learn coding from like some YouTube channels and all, and I like uh, some languages, and then we're moving on to competitive programming. So basically, I started with basic programming and then moved to competitive programming only. So and competitive programming helped me a lot in placements, especially, and in problem and enhancing my problem solving skills. So in second year I got selected in Manan, so I met some seniors and like some of batchmates also, and we worked, like we learned together, and from the experience of my seniors, like how they guided us and all. So I made it to these companies. So if I talk about, like, let's skip to like final year, like how placement session, the important thing. So initially, it was like I was confident enough ki I have done like decent in computer programming, so I will get placed somewhere. But there were some hurdles also, like I was like not clearing away of like some companies in on campus and all. So that was like unexpected thing, but you have to keep on moving. So the media.net and like Flipkart offer, they came, like the results came on the same day. uh, so like uh, regarding Flipkart, like how I got the opportunity. So it was like they every year they organize a hackathon, Flipkart Grid, I think. Yes, Flipkart Grid. So anyone like who clears the first round, they get the OA link, and they can like the placement like thing, like the how they hire, like this is one way they hire, like using some, like by hackathons, and there are some off campus recruitment process also. Uh, but like it was little difficult to like get call while like directly applying. So I got this chance, and I so this like coming to the like how they like what are the rounds and interviews all. So in this, like the first like OA link, like the OA is the like online assessment test. So in that there are like two three DSA questions, like more specifically to DSA only, right? And then they have like two interviews that are focused on algorithms. And if I have to rate the questions, rate in the sense ki if I have to like compare them like with regular DSA questions or competitive programming, I would go like they are more towards the regular DSA questions, like data structure and algorithm, like standard questions. And then they have a like third round, the hiring manager round. Okay. So for Flipkart, and I was not very good in development. Like I was just yeah, I know like to how to build stuff, like very less about the development, but I was more focused toward computer programming and DSA. So and now the second one is like media.net. This was a like on campus opportunity, and it came like for the first time in the university, like last year. So this process like is more inclined towards the competitive programming. The questions are like a little tricky, I can say, or like little hard to like crack basically. So so competitive programming helped me here also. So the process is also same, like two rounds of algorithms, and like third round is on of hiring manager. And like third round is like overall round, like you would be asked about the core subjects like oops C and DBS etc., and then some algorithm questions and little about your projects and some situations like how would you face that and all. So these are the interview experience. And other than that, I think like that's all. Like you can either you like as Shantanu mentioned, like you can like balance your time between DSA, CP, and development. Or if you are not able to balance, then you have to be very good in any one of the fields. Like either you have to be very good in DSA or very good in computer programming and or a pro in development. So there's scope, like if you like you can pick any field and like, you can like work well. So that's about the experience. Yeah. Ridham, you can go ahead. Like muted. You are muted. Your mic is off.
Thanks, Sahil. Yeah, so my experience was very similar to Sahil, in the regard that yeah, I've been coding since school, but there was a difference there. Like we weren't innovating; we were just making a simple program, like a simple loop, a simple nested loop, printing patterns. That was the stuff that we're doing. Yes, we knew concepts a bit of object-oriented programming, but that was it. And coming from there, the journey was, of course, a bit tricky, but it's not that tough once you actually get into it. Again, I was very like just decent in competitive programming. Never felt like doing that as a daily thing. I cannot skip my dinner to do a code forces challenge at 8 or 5. Just not me. So I'll say you have to be true to yourself as well. Like you can't just force yourself to do something that you're not good at. It won't help you, definitely won't help you or even your recruiter in the future. You're just wasting time of everyone. Other than that, yeah, I knew what I was good at and I focused on that for majority of it. I knew I was good at speaking, I knew I was good at communicating with people, I knew I was good at finding solutions and developing them in the best way I could. And just because I did that, I did fellowships in my third year. I did internship at the end of my third year, and like basically all that experience gathered into me getting into the placement season. First of all, that internship turned into the first PP offer that I got, and when you actually have an offer, even before the placement season begins for other people, you are much more in a secure place. You are happy. You don't think about much, you don't have anxiety, and basically that helps you crack more companies in future if you want to. Just because you have that peace of mind, you can be more confident in yourself and can crack better companies if you think so. That's it. But yeah, we can get into the details, how, what, why, in the later part of the session. Yeah, let's just go. Who else is remaining here?
Thank you, sir. I would like to request Nikhil, sir, please share your experience with us.
So again, hi everyone. So currently I work at Flipkart, and how I got that we I got this opportunity through grid only. Like me, Sahil, and Sayam. So we participated as a team. Then cleared the OA, then the interview, and then I also approached the HR for internship. So I didn't have internship at Flipkart first, but uh, then I also did my internship, like 6 month internship on Flipkart only. So overall, before that, I didn't do any technical internship. I was just like problem setter at a GFG for like 3 months, and before that, I didn't have any technical internship. But we used to practice, like Sahil, me, and Karthik. I think all of you know Karthik Bhatia. So we mostly practiced as a team for ICPC and other competitions, and that is how we used to approach competitive programming. Apart from that, I had some interest in like system programming or creating projects that maybe not for the sake of interviews, but let's say you want to build something that may help your workflow, or you might like to automate things, and that's why you're writing some scripts. And also, that is what I was doing, what you can call development. I was not into like that front end back end kind of thing, but uh, yeah. So mostly I was spending my time in college and doing competitive programming. I think Linux. Joined. I was in a cultural club also, so I was spending time there till lockdown. I was spending time there, but after lockdown I started after lockdown, what happened, this is one thing that I want to share. After lockdown, what happened, somehow I started, like, I thought I should not use social media that much, and I just stopped using WhatsApp. And when the summer internships started, so I was thinking, yeah, wow, I am cool. I'm not using WhatsApp at all, and I'm having a peace of mind. I'm working on what I like, and no one is there to disturb me. But what happened, I was cut off from others. And during the time my friends were applying to multiple places, I was not doing that at all, and I didn't know about it, because it is your first third year in college, because you don't have a second third year. So when my friends started giving online assessment, then I came to know about when they did apply, and that was kind of a loss to me. So don't do that. Don't get cut off right now. Like, lockdown is over, so you may know about opportunities. So always be available. Okay, just whenever you are on LinkedIn or somewhere, just don't waste time. Go to their job section, or be in some groups who are actively applying everywhere. So be proactive. Right now there is I think a recession thing going on. Earlier there was a hiring boom, so opportunities are scarce, but at least you should be proactive. Don't get cut off from others. And that's how I missed on, like, applying to many places for summer internships. So after that I tried uh, Karthik Bhatia, he worked at GFG, then he worked at Scalar. So he referred me. He said, "Keep you can if you want to work as a problem setter, you can work at GFG." So I tried that. Then work at GFG was chill. Like, I just used to work for 1 or 2 hours, set one problem daily, and I used to learn a lot from that. And apart from that, I was still working on, like, learning new technologies, or doing competitive programming part time, and studying. Then and meanwhile I was applying to all of these uh, companies. So I applied media.net twice, got rejected both of the time. Like, first time it was just in a way, then on second time, in the first interview only, the way I cleared that. And applied to Goldman Sachs. First time got rejected. Second time I got the interview, but I didn't give the interview because I had a Flipkart offer by that time, and I didn't want to join Goldman Sachs. And after I got the offer from Flipkart, it was around December already, and all the hiring was about to close. And before that, I had an offer from Samsung, which was on campus, but I didn't go there. So one thing is that I've seen that many people are asking question, if we are having an on campus, should we wait for better on campus offers and don't should not apply outside? So you can do both. There is no problem. I know that TPO has some awkward policies, but it all works out in the end. The only thing is, beware, don't apply anywhere that you don't want to go, because sometimes because of policies of TPO, you can face problems. I remember what happened. There was a contest from Infosys. Infosys is notorious that they include very tough problems in their contest, which is not even going to offer you a job of about 4 LPA. So me and Sahil, we just participated to solve 1 or 2 questions. We were not intending we will get an interview from Infosys and we'll work there. But somehow, like, then we got the mail you have to give the interview, and then there was too much back and forth, and TPO was insisting on us you should give the interview, and once you give the interview, if you clear it, we will block you from all other from to applying from all other to applying to all other companies that come on campus. So don't do that. Don't try such stunts. Okay, apply only to the places that you want to join and you want to work there. And there are many companies out there that you may want to work at, and don't think there are very less companies, so let's just apply there. Okay, so that's all. And regarding my time at Flipkart, so I have a very good team. So what we work on is it is a build system. So Flipkart has its own data centers. It has on its cloud. We don't use that. We don't use AWS because Amazon is our competitor. And so we have this central platform team, and in that we have our own build system. So build system, it has all the CI and CD capabilities. So our small team of 8 engineers, we work on that. So from internship, during internship also I was in the same team, and then I insisted to be on the same team again when I joined as an SD1. So overall, it is a great learning experience. Like we are working on many features that are not out there in like in the current offerings that are out there. So that is something uh, you may be excited to work for. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite Sayam, sir. Sir, please tell your experience and what is the work culture and what are some things that we should keep in our mind so that we can get our placement in our dream company.
Hello, hey everyone. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So hey everyone. It's me, Sahil. So I'm sorry for being late. I don't know the procedure how to start and uh, but for being a placement procedure and my interview experiences, I could start from the beginning. Uh, as we started with development, mostly uh, at Manan, I joined a little bit late in second year. From the second year, I started my preparation, not preparation, I started my journey as being a developer or having many projects at university level. So the first thing which I knew was to build a perfect resume, uh, a very eye-catching resume that will be definitely a plus point for anyone, and it has been a plus point for everyone, running, especially. And secondly, the point was internships were most important, and we know that uh, the exposure and the experience we will be getting in internships or like maybe a freelance project will be much greater than anything else, attending lectures or something like that, or maybe like having a party. But yeah, that definitely gave us some kickstart to know much about corporate world, to know much about development, especially. So I started my in first internship in I guess the fifth semester with DigiLocker. So how I got it was like I was searching for many internships. I reached out to a lot of people, and one of my cousin, he was also pursuing MBA at that time. So I reached out to him, and he shared me some link for DigiLocker, and he just said he applied, and like I just applied at the last moment, and suddenly like don't know like I got call from the locker developer and okay, just 1 minute I need to change my headphones.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to ask the speakers to please tell us some do's and don'ts that we should keep in mind because everyone works hard in their journey, but some do's and don'ts would be very helpful.
Can you please move to the slide of like do's and don'ts? Okay, so I will be beginning with okay. So first, give coding contests regularly. Okay, so it's a do's, but it's not a like mandatory do's. Like you, uh, let's say in the favor of like what how it is going to help you. Let's move in this direction. Okay. So coding contest is like what are the benefits of like coding contest is to if uh, like it makes you consistent first thing like you know that you have to give contest at some time and like at let's say every week two or three contests, so that makes you consistent that you are in touch with coding. For me it was like okay, I have to perform well in contest, so uh, that was my way of like uh, to work around like, or I can say ki, I was more interested in like contest because like it's like a sport for me, like it's a game ki, I'm solving some problems and then I'm getting some ratings and like we have some ranking in this. So it was like a game for me. So I tried to like give contest regularly, but like it was not this like I was not much consistent, but I would suggest ki, like it will help you if you are able to maintain your consistency and don't just focus on dating and all. Like just keep learning from the contest itself. Like you can solve problems after contest, like why you face the problem and why you were not able to solve this problem and like this. Okay, so if you analyze yourself, analyze your weaknesses, then you can like learn new concepts and learn new. Algorithms and all, and it will help you, like it will surely help you if you are interested in computer programming, then you should give contest. Okay, and read books for subjects. So like subjects is like a very underrated topic. Like most of the time we focus on either DSA or computer programming. Like there is a war on LinkedIn going on, like computer programming versus DSA. So we somehow like forgot to like forget to learn read about the subjects. Like these are also like very important in interviews. Like they can be deciding factor also. So you should read you should learn subject not for just to get placed. Like these subjects are going to like let's say computer CN, like computer networks and OOPS concepts and DBMS. Like these are they are going to help you in your job also. And if your basics are clear, then you are more you are like you will be able to like solve more problems like better way. And if you are going to learn them for the interviews only, then I would suggest like you should read them thoroughly to get your basics clear and uh, have a perspective of learning, not just to cram the topics and like for the interview like they are going to ask this and this. If you have time crunch, then you can go ahead and like read about some top 50 interview questions and these things. But if you have time, I would suggest to read books or like any online platform you can learn about the subject. Okay, so next one is and yes, if you have any doubts or all, so you can write it down in chat section, and we will cover your questions after these do's and don'ts and like after the flow at the end of the session. Okay, uh, so third one is note down problems seeming non-standard or requiring a unique approach. Okay, yes. So this is specific to the final year students, I would say, or the end of third year. Like when you have like around 5 to 6 months before your placement session, you should work on these type kind of things. Like because like if you have solved a problem and then I would say like if you solve a problem on your own, then I believe you can in like in the interview or in the any like if you face the problem again, you will be able to solve it there also. But there are some problems that you are not able to solve on the first go, and maybe you have to see the solution or have to ask someone to explain you. So I would suggest to like this is a good thing to mark the or note down these kind of problems so that you can go back to these questions and try to solve them by your own. Okay, so it will help, it will surely help you. And fourth one is bluntly and regularly send emails and messages for referrals without any hesitation. Yes, yes. Like this is like a must, because like YMCA is like is a good college, but it's not that good college that you will get all the big companies on campus. So this is a determining subject topic ki, like you have to call, email, and like send emails and ask for referrals in the messages on LinkedIn, etc. Like you can what you can do, you can like list down the companies that you want to work and like you target some companies and then send direct emails. Like if you do not have emails of the like recruiter or hiring manager or like anyone, so you can just search about the company on LinkedIn and get sent like and have a like standard message. The just like you have your skills in there, like you what you are good at, like and which role you are looking and all these things, and just have a standard message and send it to like 5 to 6 person of SD, or I can say anyone like who is eligible to refer you. So let's say software engineer role, that you can send email to like 5 to 6 software engineers of that particular company, or some senior like hiring managers also. And so this way you can like increase your chances of getting into the process of recruitment, like if directly. And I would suggest, like before applying to any career portal, you have to look for the referrals first, because by referral your chances are higher than you are applying to a like career portal. So this is very important point. Just bluntly go and like send email to like randomly, like no issue, like ping anyone, like I want to like apply to this position and please give me refer and all these things. Okay, so there is no harm in like sending messages and all, no issue. So fifth one would be speak up while practicing questions as if it's an interviewer. Yes. So the point is कि हाँ the point is कि when you are in an interview, like most of the time what happens with like most with many people कि like they are able to solve the problem, but they are not able to explain the solution. So how would the interviewer know कि like you know the concept, or you just cram the solution? So that's very important thing, and that you have to learn. Initially when I was preparing for the placement, I was not good at explaining the stuff. So uh, my senior Yugant and Karthik helped me a lot in this, like how to explain the solutions, how to. So this I worked on it to like speak out loud, like while I was solving a problem, I speak up loud, like what I am doing, like why I'm doing, like if I have to like let's say apply binary search here, so why binary search and this kind of thing, so that interview can like when, so this becomes my habit. So whenever I'm in interview, I do not have to like force myself to speak about the solution. If it becomes my habit, then I like it's a common thing for me, like it's a usual thing, like I have also practiced this. So uh, in an interview I will perform better if I have this strategy. And I guess I have covered most of the points. If any one want like to continue from here, Ridham?
Just
Center.
just two things. Like we have mentioned CP a lot in our earlier talks. Like it is not a mandatory thing to do. So there are platforms like where you can practice DSA. Like there is Lead Code and Interview Bit. So our seniors did this thing, like they practiced the whole interview bit thing and completed all the questions there, and they were also placed in great places. So CP is not that mandatory to do. So that was one point. And second, like we are currently discussing the do's thing. So maybe before the interview, you can go through the questions which were asked in that company. Like there are questions listed on lead code pages and GFG with company tags. So you can practice those questions specifically before a night, before an interview, and that will give you a head start before any interview. So yeah, these 2 points were.
Yes, I am.
Yep.
Would you want to speak?
Uh, do let me know if my audio is breaking. Sure. So basically, I want to add to one of the point, which is sending emails and messages. Sending cold emails, messages on LinkedIn's could be a game changer for anyone. That could be a deciding factor on how many offers do you get, or how many off-campus placements you can have. So this can easily help you with the negotiation part also. If you have multiple offers in hand, it can definitely help you. And while having the thoughts, like in like maybe after 2 months you will see your one of your friend is placed in one of the company, and you will be guessing like when did the openings came or something like this. So to be honest, there are multiple openings which are internal. Basically, internal openings means they doesn't post on any website or any portal, but they hire only on the basis of referrals or on the basis of their connections or network only. So that could be the best thing a person could try. Yep, that's all from my side.
Thank you, sir. Uh, Now I would like to invite Karthik sir with us.
Hi everyone. Am I audible?
Yeah, and
Yes,
before we
sir.
begin, can I just request, like, whoever speaks, can they switch on their video while they do that?
Okay, sure. I'm actually sitting in dark, so I'm not sure if I'm visible. Am I visible?
Yeah, yeah, you're great. Come on.
Yeah, so this was basically for folks who have been recently placed. So I have not much to talk, but yeah, those who are listening, just a heads up that keep practicing. And like everyone mentioned, that this is mandatory, this is not mandatory. There are no rules regarding your practice. Whatever you are good at, if you are good with open source and stuff, there are people in the club on who are not, who are outside the club, who got placed in very decent companies, and they were not doing any CP or DSA stuff. And there are people who did not do any development stuff, they don't have any open source contribution, and yet they were able to do crack some good product based companies. So uh, try to discover each forte and see which you are strong at and try to focus on that. This is a one line advice I have for everyone. That's it. Yep. Thanks everyone.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to request Nikhil sir. Sir, please share don'ts that we should keep in our mind while working hard for in our journey.
Nikhil, you there? Okay, but what I'll do is I'll take over. It's okay. So, firstly, while, as it says on the slide, in an interview, unless an interviewer states a fact, don't assume it. You can ask as many questions as possible, and actually it reflects very well on you if you ask those questions. Because interviewer, more than the fact that you can solve and implement the problem, he just wants to see whether you can actually think of a solution. Can you think of all the corner cases, even before you start coding? So if you ask those questions, if you ask that what might be the size, what are the use case for it, you can ask any question that's in your mind, but do ask it and keep an open conversation while being in an interview. Other thing is section, like it's the sections in CV, they should be very well defined. Like if something you did wasn't work, like if it's a very bad unpaid internship. Let's see an internshala internship, for an example. If you write that in your work experience, that will be a very big no, because you don't do anything. And if it's not related to your line of work, that work experience doesn't count. So it's better if you don't mention it there. I'll say that. Like if it's technical writing, I'll say put it, because it is related to your field and it does show that you have an interest outside of just getting a job. So do put technical writings, do put actually good like internships in proper companies. Doesn't matter whether they're paid or unpaid, but don't put anything which is not directly related to something technical or related to your job. If it's not oriented to your job. Third is okay. I don't fully agree to it, but so okay. There's one particular tactic that even if you know the best possible solution, don't give it in your first try. It's a practice. I don't follow it, but it's a general practice that I have seen many people follow. For example, that there is a question which you can implement it hard if you like just implement it in the brute force way possible. You'll do it in n square. But if you optimize it, you can do it in on, like on complexity. So what people do just to give an impression that they're thinking about the problem right on the spot. They give the O(n) square solution right then and there, very fast, and then they think about it like 3 to 4 minutes, and then give the O(n) solution. Okay, so this is one tactic which is very popular. I don't really follow it because, firstly, I don't remember all the solutions. I actually do take some time to get to the solution. So those 3 to 4 minutes, I think about the solution. So this don't is more about that. You don't need to jump the gun and have to think, okay, I have to give the best possible solution as fast as possible. Think about it. If your interview is about for an hour and the interviewer expects he'll ask you 2 or 3 questions, you can take about 20 minutes. So the total, including the coding, so you'll be able to code it in max 10 minutes. I'm being very generous here. So you can take those first 10 minutes, ask the interviewer about what he expects, and think of a solution. You can throw some items if they don't stick, like even if the question is going to be solved from hash map at the end of it, but you have some doubt whether it can be solved using stack. So you can just throw that idea out there. If the interviewer has their video on, or if it's actually on site, you can check their reactions if there are any. But be communicative. He just wants to see what's in your brain. That's it. The next point, I think I've already covered it. I am very sure that like other people on this meet will have very strong opinions about that, and hopefully Sayam will speak something about it. But okay, let's see that.
Yeah, about this point, earlier I used to do the same. I just directly jumped to the best optimal solution which I could think on the spot. So maybe it could be the best optimal or not that optimal, or it could be a brute force solution also. But I directly go to the best optimal solution which I could think at the spot. But the problem was sometimes interview things I'm not trying that much hard, or it could be like I have already practiced the same question in some of the questions or contest. And but on the same hand, I once remember a question which has around 5 solutions from being brute force to optimal solution, and I regulated, like I went through all the solutions, like the first brute force, then the second optimal one, then third, then fourth, then the most optimal solution. Then the problem was we have a time constraint, and due to that, out of 2 questions, the first question took major time, and I didn't got like a lot of time for the second question, and uh, unfortunately I have to cut that down, and which got a rejection for me. But that's okay. Like I learned that you could just think of like the most optimal and the second most optimal solution. You can just have a mix over here, but never code the second most optimal question. Always code the optimal solution. But you have to think aloud, and that's why you have to think second most optimal solution also. And then the one point which I will add over here is like never put your copied projects in resume. For example, if you are currently uh, pursuing a course or having some of the projects which are openly available, maybe it's like available on YouTube or GitHub, or it's very famous solution, or it's famous, or like you can say a boilerplate for something. But don't put that in your resume. It's not serving any purpose. Your project should be serving some purpose, not, if not the real purpose, it could be your some purpose that would be at just university level only, or at just your friend groups only, or if not serving a purpose, it could be a uniqueness of the project that shows your maybe like a way to think in a different direction, or maybe a way to optimize a uh, question or something like uh, so that would be a best thing. Yep, Rhythm.
Yeah, so I just wanted to add a bit on this. Great advice. If you want to have a project on your resume, it should be unique. It should solve a problem, and at the end of it, the interviewer should get a uh, get an idea that you are a problem solver and you are actually observant about what's needed in your vicinity, and you are able to solve it. Other thing that again might be a bit controversial, but it's a good advice. I'll say is that you don't need to make all the projects. It's about having that problem solving mindset. If you know a problem and you know how to solve it, and you can communicate about how to solve it. Like think about a problem and you need to make a web application, and you know how to make the architecture of it, how would you divide the workload, how would you design it, and you know a bit about how to implement it, and you can talk like 5 to 10 minutes about the project. Even if you don't have the project made and you just have it on your resume, you can go through. No one's going to check your code. Okay. Yeah, Santanu. Oh, sorry. Sayam, please.
Yeah. I have a very amazing story. For just an exact example for this one. So I was giving an interview for one Gurgaon startup, which is currently maybe would be a unicorn in few months only. So I couldn't name it, but I didn't join them because it was a work from office setup. But the problem was that project which I wanted to showcase to them wasn't even in a development phase. It was just an idea, and I remember it. It was I was just having a PPT of it, which I have to show to our project guy, like sorry, mentor. Yeah, so project mentor. So I just went through that PPT. I explained my idea and my approach and challenges which I know that I will be facing in that project. I explained that to their CEO, and he got impressed just by the PPT only. He never saw my code, or he never saw my uh, demo of that working model, or that website or something like that. So it was just an idea, or it was just an approach, or you can say challenges which I know I would be facing and how I would be solving it. So that's the thing you have to follow.
Right. Thanks, Sayan. Again, one more thing I just got from one of my friends is the project name is very, very important. If it's catchy, it's highly probable that the person reading the resume will actually read what the project is about. So if you can come up with good catchy names, it can be an acronym, anything. It can be combination of two words, whatever you want. Do come up with good names. Okay. And last but not the least, yeah, last but not the least, don't waste your time in interviews. If there's a problem, and if you just sit and stare at the interview for the whole 30 minutes, it's not going to do anyone good. If you have any solution, be it brute force, do attempt it. Even if you don't get the job, you'll learn. And it's very important. You'll leave a good impression of the person. He/she won't feel that it's a complete waste of time. And yeah, that's what you want to have in the interview. It should not be a waste of time. Yeah, we can go to the next slide if there's any. Actually, we can just go on to the Q&A session. Yeah, and here we
Moving
are.
ahead, here's the fun part of the session that you all have been waiting for so long. Let's give a quick start. The first question: some tips how to grab internship from YMCA. Also, is there any on-campus internships from the college?
Uh, does someone want to cover this? Sayam, can you?
Okay. If it's just based for internships, not full-time opportunities, then I can say you can have internships in starting of your second or third year also. It never depends upon the uh, like on the experience or on the year which you are starting. So many of those juniors ask me, sir, internship kab se kare? So it's simple. Whenever you are ready, you feel you are ready, not compulsory like second year में करनी है या फिर third year में करनी है या fourth में. So how to get internship? Number one, if you are waiting for summer internships, college won't help at all. They just they just don't provide any internship or any kind of support for summer internships. So you have to figure it out yourself. So best uh, way to approach for an internship is are like number one would be taking referrals from the seniors or the ones you know in your network. It could be someone from different college also or in the same college also. Number second could be applying on most each and every uh, hiring port
portals, or you can say uh, maybe like on each and every company's careers page, but there are many like very less opportunities at their careers page. So the approach which I followed was, my brother is in NIT Delhi, so what I followed, I saw the companies which are coming in for placements, especially for internships in his college. So I approached the employees of that company, and luckily I got my current job through this only, through cold emails and messages only. And you can also follow the same. You have just keep a track of companies offering internships or full-time opportunities, and give your best, and keep your resume uh, well uh, well equipped with content, or like maybe experience.
Thank you, sir. Next question is from a 24 batch. I'm working very hard. However, my resume is not getting shortlisted, and even if I get a link of OA by chance, then even after solving questions in OA, I'm not getting any interview call.
So I will like to take that. So in OA, it is mandatory to solve, I think, all the questions to maximize the chances of getting the call. Like because there are thousands of application and you want yourself to get shortlisted. So maybe you solve one or two question and you are wondering like I am not getting the call. So that may be the case here. And what was the first part of the question?
So it was like I'm working very hard. However, my resume is not getting shortlisted. And if I even get a link from OA by chance, and even after solving the question in OA, I'm not getting any interview call.
Okay. So getting the resume shortlisted is a really tough part. We all have gone through it, and maybe you can just depend on referrals, really strong referrals, maybe from the folks who are currently working into companies from YMCA, so they can provide you some strong referrals out there. Like random referrals, I don't see them working off so often. So yeah, that can be done.
Okay, thank you, sir. Moving next, I got this question from a 23 batch. I got an on campus placement. Now, how to focus on big tech companies?
I would like to take this question. Uh, okay. So the question is ki how to target like big companies after getting selected in on campus, right? Mm, okay. So the thing is like first of all you are placed in some like you are placed in some company. So as Ridham mentioned, ki, like you will feel less pressure and you feel like confident, more confident that you have some offer to fall back if in case you are not able to get any other offer, right? And so that's a good thing, and it will boost your confidence also. Be like you have to like you have something to follow, right? So the main part is here like how to focus on big companies. So I would suggest ki first shortlist the companies that now you want to apply or work with. Let's say if you are placed in some company, so you if you're planning to move like switch or let's say to get another offer, so that means you are interested in some of the companies. So uh, shortlist the companies and then see the interview experiences. Like this thing helps a lot. Like read about the interview experiences of the companies and like how what kind of questions they are asking, and what are the areas like they look more often like how they judge you basically. Like in the interview experience you will get to know about these things. Like some of the companies focus on DSA more, and some of the companies like focus on development part. Like some of the startups, they want you to be very good in like very good or like decent in development part. You have some experience and all these things. So reading interviews will help you a lot. And other than that, keep trying. Like that, yeah, keep trying and like shortlist and read the interviews and prepare accordingly for the targeting companies. Yeah, that's it for my.
Thank you, sir. And our next question is up to what level, basic, intermediate, or advanced, we need to master a skill? Should I repeat my question?
Oh, okay. Like I can take this one if no one is saying. So, basic, intermediate, or master level. Mm, this could be a tricky question because you won't know what would the level for you and the company requires. For example, if a company is requiring a development heavy role, they want a developer should contribute on day one, then obviously they want to hire a person who is already worked on the same problem statements or maybe on same tech stack, so he or she can start working on the day one. But on the other hand, if a company is like an MNC or is well settled company, or you can say uh, they have a lot of funds with them. They just want to have a asset or resource as an employee, and they don't basically need to have a expertise person. They just will train them and ha- have to like adjust with their expertise level, and will be okay to have been a contribution from the employee on maybe after 1 month or 2 months. So it depends upon company to company, and similarly, like it depends upon what would be the experience you would be having.
Okay, so this question is followed by another question. What is the benefit of machine learning in SDE role?
I would like to take this question. Okay, so uh, like as I'm also working in a team like that have some part of machine learning. So this like it's not like you have machine learning is helpful like of in a software engineer thing like it's like there are some specific roles. Let's say like you are back end engineer, maybe you are front end engineer, then you are more towards like data engineer, data scientist kind of thing. So that depends ki, like what is the role and the requirement of your project. So it's not like you have to learn a single tech and you have to work around that tech only. Like it's very dynamic. You have to learn and unlearn many technologies. Like let's say you are for this current project you require Java and let's say MySQL. Yes, Rhythm, yeah.
Yeah, just wanted to continue on that. Like nicely said by Sahil, you have to learn and unlearn a lot of things. So yeah, about that, you just have to be on the move. There's always something new to learn, and especially in tech industry, it's not very likely that what you learned before, it's the same thing that you're gonna be working again. Like cloud in general is so big that there are hundreds of things to learn there. As Nikhil talked about, like he's working directly in Flipkart and they have their own cloud system and he's directly maintaining that. So he's learning a lot there. And there are multiple aspects there, multiple services, there are multiple features that cloud offers. And if you just learn how they do it, it's very, very nice if you actually just look into it. So yeah, be always be ready to learn. And it's not that if you learn a particular tech stack, you are good to go for your entire life. That's how a software engineer goes. I'll always say that computer engineering is actually a diploma. You are not actually engineers. You like a whole whatever you study during computer engineering can be done in like 6 months max. And that 6 months period, you just go through it and your entire life. You learn, unlearn all the time. Yeah, we can go to the next question.
Okay, another question from 24 batch. Already doing a good amount of well-versed questions of DSA, but haven't done any development so far. To which level of proficiency should I do development and how? Should I repeat the question?
Sayam, can you take that?
For development, okay, sure. Um, Again, it depends upon company. As I speak earlier, if company expects you to contribute on day one, they need you should be knowing basic concepts of their text or basic concepts of your role. Maybe it could be front end or back end or machine learning or data engineering or something like this. So it all depends upon company to company. On, for example, Samsung will start with DSA, but whereas when I interviewed with small case, they never asked me DSA. They just straight went into system design and some of the problems which were related to their own problem statements. So they never expected some clear cut answer from me. So it was much more of a discussion type of interview. They gave me real world problems, and we were discussing on the same. So on the development heavy, I would say, if you are going through a phase where you are already having some of the projects and some of uh, live projects basically, so then you can stop development for a little bit time period and can start with DSA also if you are weak over there. Otherwise, a medium level of development would always be a good.
Okay, thank you, sir. Now let's take some questions from our live chat. Now we are having Hardik Kumar. He is asking, sir, I am in seventh semester and placements are going on, and I'm not good at DSA, not even done basic. So what should I do as many companies are coming and going on and I'm not well prepared?
Yep. So for this one, I would like to answer. If you are not good at DSA, as I just mentioned, there are many startups that doesn't ask you DSA questions because they are more focused on development, and they generally are not building for an optimized solution or optimized product. They are just building a 0 to 1 journey. So in a 0 to 1 journey, you just have want to have a product in the market as soon as possible. But in 1 to 100 journey, you have to optimize your current product for a larger scale of consumers. So it depends if you don't have knowledge of DSA, which is like kind of mandatory nowadays. But you can always go for startups where who are in their 0 to 1 journey. Basically, they are building their product, so they need fast development, not not kind of slow approach or a faster approach. For example, in my current company, we went through 1 to 100 journey. Then we saw it couldn't be a market fit. Then we just scaled down, and now again we are going to a 0 to 1 journey. In 0 to 1 journey, I saw a problem which could be have solved easily with binary search, but I just wrote a code of brute force of uh, with a much higher complexity. So yep, you can join these kind of companies and apply for them.
Thank you, sir. Now Lakshmi Bhatia is asking, does CGPA matters for on-campus placement?
Yes, it matters. uh, Sahil, someone who is having a higher CGPA can share this, because I am having a very low CGPA. I think lowest in this group.
I think you are the best person to answer because like you face some problems if you have low CGPA.
Yep.
Then you can share your experience, right?
Yeah, I remember
That's right.
Cisco required 8 CGPA. I wasn't 8 or 9. I don't remember correctly, but I wasn't able to apply for it. And there were many companies who require more than 7.5 CGPA. And before lockdown, I was struggling to have a 7 CGPA. All thanks to lockdown, uh, we got a good CGPA. But yes, it matters. Even companies like Samsung will give you a cutoff, which could be 7 in colleges like NIT or triple ITs. But in our college, it came with 7.5 CGPA. So yes, on that should be a point.
Very impromptu, like not related to it. Just wanted to raise a point, which I might forget later. It's just that don't think of it as a one-off thing. Like it's not the only company you're gonna crack in your life. The first company that you join. It's not that just out of college you join a company and that's gonna be your company for the entire life. That's just one point. So doesn't matter how well or not well you are at the end of your fourth year. It's just the starting point. You can always climb up the ladder and climb up the ladder very, very, very fast. And we have like an experienced person who has just done that, right? In the meet, you can get your get his experience as well. Of course, mentioning Karthik, if no one got it. But yes, don't look at it like placements as a single thing. Look in the longer picture always. Like 40 years in this industry, if you're gonna spend that, might as well look in the top 40-year time frame.
Okay. Now Hardik Kumar is
One second.
asking. Okay,
If you are
sure.
having a low CGPA, just remove CGPA from your resume.
Yeah, good advice.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Now Hardik Kumar is asking, sir, in college, bond companies come, should we join?
Bond companies.
No, I say no, a big no.
Yeah, bond companies are a big no-no. Yes. Uh, so don't even apply to these companies that are like have a bond condition on them. So like what my way of thinking is like why they are like putting a bond condition on you. Like what I think is like either like they do not have very good work culture. Like the people are leaving their companies, like freshers are leaving, or they are paying very low. And like I think these like there are many reasons that they want to retain their employers. Okay, so I think you should not apply to companies uh, as much as possible, right? Like if you do not have any other options, then in the worst case you can go for that, but I would suggest generally do not apply to these companies.
Yeah, like
One
even
more
if the
thing. Yeah,
sorry,
Rhythm.
Sam, go ahead. Okay.
No, no, Rhythm, you can go.
Thanks. Okay, so if the company doesn't have the trust that it can hold you, like how can you be actually willing to take that risk?
Yes.
So don't go there. Please don't.
In my opinion, it must be a personal question about one to one. If you are applying for a bond company, that means like you are willing to, or like, what can I say? You are just destroying your career. It could be a personal choice also. If you want to destroy your career, go and happily apply on a bond company, and then you can easily destroy your career.
So just to also give a bit more context and not be very negative about bond companies, and I'm playing the devil's advocate here, so bear with me. So it's not that if you go into a bond company, because there is a bond amount, right? If you have to leave before the stipulated time, you have to give some amount back to the company. So usually, if you like leave that bond company and go to a better company, which is actually good, usually good companies cover that cost. So that's usually coming under the buyout cost, and good companies cover that. Like if you talk about companies, all the companies that are mentioned on the poster, like all our companies, they would cover that cost. So if you like a very small thing, if you have a confidence that going from a bond company, if you can land into a good corporation which can actually take that bond cost out, and you're just looking for a thing which will last maximum of 6 months, take it. So only in that case I'll say maybe you can join the bond company, but in general, please don't.
It's better to have something than nothing. Like if you do not have
Yeah,
any option, then you can apply. Like it's not like you should not like, but generally you should not. But if
right.
you do not have any option, then you can. Yeah.
And again, like if you have the capability to clear a bond company, you can like clear a similarly packaged non-bond company as well.
Yeah.
Because if you can always like put them into tiers, right? The companies. So the bond companies are usually in a tier where there are other companies as well which offer non-bond jobs. Off campus, on campus doesn't matter. Just don't apply there. Don't.
Okay, so next question that I'm able to see on the screen. What is the role of computer science fundamentals taught in third year of college in off and on campus placement?
Quite big. I think Sayam will be like best to answer it because he's given most off-campus interviews, and especially in startups and product-based companies.
Okay, for so core subjects could be helpful for the companies like Postman. I remember our senior and Manan Gautam sir. He applied for Postman. So it's a basically a networking company, and he was asked heavy questions on computer networks, and similarly for other companies there could be questions related to TVMS and operating system also. If Nikhil applied for Flipkart. It's just a scenario question. He applied for Flipkart. Then they can ask you questions related to core subjects easily because their role was to optimize things and reduce their cost by implementing cloud computing for themselves. So that's the same thing which I said earlier. It depends upon company to company.
And also, like just not even related to interviews, once you get into the job, there are multiple roles which actually require you having good knowledge of those core subjects, be it dbms, be it operating system, and especially networking. Like, don't sleep on networking, please don't. Like, there are multiple things. You should know what a subnet is, you should know what a dns is, you should know how internet works. Like, if there is a request going out of your smartphone, like going across the globe and coming back to you, how does it actually work? If you're going to a website, where does an asset come from, where does a request go to? You should know about what's a cdn and other things. Like, these are basic networking terms, and if you just look into how architecture of any firm works, like there are multiple videos on YouTube explaining that. Just look into those, you will get to know how actually a request is routed through multiple gateways and stuff. So yeah, learn about that. Learn what a reverse proxy is, what a proxy server is. There are n number of things in networking. It's a really, really nice thing to go through. Yeah, that would be my advice. Yeah, that's it.
Uh, just to add on to that, like only 4 or 3 to 4 subjects are mostly emphasized when we talk about the computer fundamental. So, in my experience, I have faced problems with compilers and automata too, which we haven't faced, which we haven't studied nicely in college as well. So, yeah, it can be to that extent as well.
Exactly. Like, there is a particular thing called regex, regular expressions, and it's a popular meme in computer engineering that no one understands how regex works. But it is like very powerful. I myself have only scratched a bit of it, and it is heavily dependent on automata. So if you like are studying automata in college and have a chance to like, learn it actually good, do it. Please do it.
Moving on to the next question. From where we should practice for aptitude because some companies ask very hard aptitude questions like Goldman Sachs. So how to handle that?
Do we have Naman in the meeting? I don't think so. Karthik, would you be able to answer it?
I didn't hear the question. Can you please repeat?
Sure,
Way to
sure.
learn aptitude.
Okay. I was actually preparing for something different, not for computer this online test of companies. But yeah, I preferred India Bix. So basically, there is a for India Bix you can refer for aptitude test. So there is a scoring and there is a live test kind of feature there. So I really like that. So you can see your rank among themselves as well, among the folks who are doing that test. So India Bix has a lot of material for aptitude. But yeah, for GS level aptitude, I think you might have to refer a different source because previous year questions might help. Rhythm,
Yeah,
you have been
previous
in
year.
GS. You actually know, you have a better idea what kind of aptitude they are asking.
Sure. Okay, so my source, like whenever someone asks me where to get better at aptitude, it's only one single source. So you know about railway examinations, right? They have a lot of aptitude questions in them, and you can get those questions at your local magazine shop if there's something near you. There are books like GK Today or any other which have like these question papers of railways. So they have a lot of aptitude questions. If you just go through them, just solve even 10, 20 a day if you want to, or if you can like binge it. If you're really interested in mathematics, you can complete like 10, 15, 20 papers. I used to do a lot of them in like early part of my childhood, and that helped me a lot. Like, even if somebody does that today, definitely will help. But specifically for company preparations, I'll recommend just go through the questions which are already present on internet. Go to interview bit, go to all the different sites that you can find particular questions that are asked in interviews, because many of those are repeated, and even the interviewer, they're not going to invent. Like, they can, but they rarely do. They're not going to invent aptitude questions, and they find those questions by a Google search, and you can find those before them in the same way. So if you know that a particular company asks for aptitude, prepare for it. That's it. From internet, there are 100 sources. Just Google it. Interview bit especially helped me in that, I'll say.
Thank you, sir. Now we are having Keshav's question. If we should make Amazon or Netflix clone as projects.
I'll say no. Not directly.
Uh, I will, I think, like to answer it in details.
Please do.
Like when you make a clone of a website or app, you only clone the front end part. What you miss is the real scaling which is happening at back end. So I think making just a clone really don't show like you like it's already available on GitHub. Like there are hundreds of clones available on GitHub. So what are you doing different? That's the point. And
Um, Also, sorry, Santanu, were you saying something else as well?
no, no, you can go ahead.
Sure. Also, it shows that you have a lack of creativity and can't find problems around you, and you're looking for already solved problems and just try to learn it. Okay, if you want to make a clone to learn how to make it, do it, but don't put it on your resume.
One more thing, you like as Anthony said, you can't clone Amazon or Netflix or anything like this. Just you are cloning the front interface only. So the point is like if you are cloning the front interface, what's the tricky thing? Anyone can do it. Even I can do it after seeing the HTML code and copy pasting it on the same hand. Even anyone can do it. First year person can also do it. The major thing is like solving challenges on the problem statement. Facebook or like Amazon or Netflix is currently not having. For example, when I see, I do watch a lot of Netflix movies, but the problem is every time I log in, I see same set of movies in the front page of Netflix. If you can solve it, if you can build something, some machine learning algorithm which could just optimize this problem statement, yep, then show it as your own product, not as in the name of Netflix. So that would be a suggestion from me, from my side.
I think you're not refreshing the page.
Yeah. No, no,
If you end
it's
up
yeah. If you refresh this page, also, it's not like if you are not watched it, like if I've watched already all the movies and it's again showing me the same, then it won't be much helpful for me.
Yeah, while we are on the topic of making clones, there's another thing very close to it. I would like to mention it. If you are going to any course provided, like on Udemy course or any other similar kind of course on development, and they have a project there which you're making, make it well and good, but don't put it on your resume again, because that course has been seen by 500 people, 1,000 people, and all of them are going to make the same project. Everybody knows it. Like, I can, if you just tell me what the project is, I can tell whether it's a, like a, what's that called, clone project or not. So don't try to act smart in that way. Please don't. Yeah.
Coming next, there's a question: a role of CGPA in off-campus placement.
I wouldn't lie that there is no rule. Definitely, when a person looks at your resume off campus, especially when you're not from a great university, like I know that we are from IIT YMCA, but doesn't matter. Uh, the people will look at your CGPA, but that won't be the sole judgment. So, if you get into an interview, then the CGPA would matter less. But to get the interview, CGPA does matter. Off campus, some companies are very rigid about it, but not many. So if you're looking for starters, especially, they are not that rigid about it, and you can get into almost all companies, irrespective of your CGPA, if you are actually good at what you do. That's a big if. If you know what you're doing, if you're good at development, if you are averagely good at CP, you can get into the company. Yes.
I would suggest to be on safer side, like have a CGPA like greater than 8 or like 8.5. Like if like it's like कि I know it's not very important to have like very good CGPA, or like it's not advisable to have like neglect it completely. So I would say कि have a like decent CGPA and it like above 8 or 8.5, that would be good to say, like good to go, I think.
Exactly. It's not a very hard to maintain a CGPA above 8, I'll say.
Yeah.
Like, of course, there can be some situation that you find yourself in that you're not able to maintain the CGPA. Definitely, not judging. But like, if you put average efforts, having an 8 CGPA is not like a very high ask. I won't blame companies if they have an 8 CGPA barrier.
Hmm. Yeah.
So moving ahead, I guess it's not possible to answer each and every question, and our seniors have tried their level best to share their insights with you all. For further doubts, you can reach out to us via our LinkedIn profile or our Instagram profiles. At last, on the behalf of Manan the Techno Search, I extend a really hearty vote of thanks to our seniors who have spared their time from their busiest schedule to grace this session. Today, we had an opportunity to hear your thoughts, and this will surely going to encourage us in our future endeavors. My gratitude to all the seniors for sharing their insightful opinions with us. Thank you, Ridham sir. Thank you, Sayam sir. Thank you, Nikhil sir. Thank you, Sayantanu sir. Thank you, Sahil sir. And a thank you to Karthik sir. A big thank you to all the attendees for being patient and making this session memorable for us. Thank you.
Pleased to be here. Yeah, let's. I think we can end it here, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for listening and the opportunity. Right. Bye.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Thank you, sir.